Kazakhstan is one of the significant players of the world economy and one of the 50 largest exporting countries. There are 100 world states in our sales geography. There are 820 titles of domestic goods in the range of supplies. The principal share of Kazakhstani exports come from raw materials, oil, uranium, and wheat. But this tendency is changing. The first processing enterprises are opening and already coming out to global markets with prepared products. You will learn in the 4 Export program about where and how the production branded Made in Kazakhstan is produced. Kazakhstan will increase the share of non-primary export twice by 2025. This task is set by the President of Kazakhstan. In this direction, the significant role is given to regions where the biggest number of large export-oriented companies is located. Karaganda region is a leader of the list. Karaganda region is the largest by territory and production potential in Kazakhstan, located in the central part of the country. The export volume is composed of more than $3 billion. About 90% of exported goods are of non-primary origin, $2.9 billion. These indicators led the region to the first place in the country in terms of volumes of export. Leaders of the export supplies of non-primary materials are the Karaganda region, West Kazakhstan, and the Almaty city. These 3 regions together constitute 50%, that is, provide 50% of goods abroad. As for the export structure, it's mostly the metallurgy production, about 80% of the share. The main markets of metallurgy region are China, Russia, Iran, and the UAE. Karaganda region is in the heart of Kazakhstan's industry. Traditionally here, not only mining but also processing enterprises as well as commodity producers are concentrated. Every one of them has interesting history and big plans. There was huge plumbing equipment factory in the 1960s. Now this enterprise is called Santechprom and provides not only Kazakhstan but also a number of other states with their own products. Santechprom LLP, production of sanitary and engineering goods. Production volume, 3.5 billion Kazakhstan tenge, $10.7 million US. Export share, 64%. Sales geography, Russian Federation, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Belarus, Moldova, Ukraine. The main product are the steel enamel bathtubs. There are about 5 types of them and much more with modifications. We now worked over at the moment and we're working over the new stamp for steel-enabled bathtubs on 1,500 millimeters. Enterprise produces acrylic baths apart from steel ones. They get more and more places on counters thanks to the variety of forms and sizes. But these baths have their own disadvantages because acryl is a version of plastic. Factory specialists had found solutions to this problem. This is a sort of steel and acryl hybrid. Steel bathtubs with unique covers with ions of silver, white, very beautifully, ergonomically. The design of this bath was ordered in Italy. At the same time, it has noise absorption effect and retains heat. That is, it's the same thing that we expect from acrylic bath, but it's much cheaper than an acrylic tub. The second line of production are the steel panel radiators, the successors of cast iron ones. This is optimal decision in combination of design, high heat dissipation, and energy savings on the heaters market. Our heaters have conclusions of Milan University. We work with Moscow Vita Term Institute, and we got the conclusion from there. We use Italian equipment for steel panel heaters. Its feature is that it can work in online regime. If suddenly, let's say, some failure happened, then we can't solve themselves within our manufacture. And we can connect with Italian specialists online, and they help us to solve this problem. The exhibits of International Expo 2017 fair are equipped with these devices. When we started working on the Expo objects, we passed a very systematic check and lots of other tests and certificate commissions. And now we can say with certainty that yes, our heaters will serve at all Expo exhibits, which they are equipped with for a long time. Other exclusive products are heat exchangers for energy-efficient closed heating systems. For now, they are only custom-made, but the company is sure that these heat exchangers will be required more. That's two circles. The hot water comes from CHP, passes through the heat exchanger, gives away a part of the heat and comes back. And the second circuit, which goes through the heat exchanger, is tied to a house, and clean water is constantly in this second circuit, ready for circulation, for heat withdrawal from through heat exchanger. That is why the system is always filled with water, which excludes the rusting process, increases the durability of exploitation of this equipment. The volume of export amounted to more than 2 billion Kazakhstan tenge in 2016. That is around $7 million US. Company's production is presented on the markets of Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Belarus, Moldova, and Ukraine. The main market is Russia. 80% of all exported products are shipped here. We have representatives, our dealers, in nearly all Russian cities in each federal districts with whom we successfully work for more than 10 years, and with some for more than 15 to 20 years. We annually participate in the largest exhibitions, Mosbuild, Aquaterm. Annually meet with our clients with whom we have been working for many years. We discuss the markets. Enterprise issues bathtubs and heaters worth more than 3.5 billion Kazakhstan tenge annually. Automation of production helps to achieve such performance. If Italian equipment is used for steel panel radiators, then for stamping of baths we use German equipment. It works completely in automatic regime. Components of finished products are German equipment, Kazakhstani technologies, and Turkish enamel. Finished products go twice to the process of painting by unique composition and are fired at the temperature of 900 degrees. High quality of goods become the rule not only for the executives, but also for each specialist on the factory a long time ago. There has to be a sense, because even with experience, I feel the steel. I know where to add, where to reduce, to add oil, to add the clamp. I feel metal anyway. I am proud that our bathtubs are all over the world, abroad, in the near and far. The company's management notes the favorable conditions for businesses in the framework of Eurasian Economic Union. Despite the growing number of competitors, the union made it possible to facilitate most of procedures when exporting goods. Logistics, custom clearance, some brokerage operations are simplified. All of it took a lot of extreme time. Now all this got simplified, and thanks to it, we increase competition in other countries. Company's production was awarded in nomination Best Product of Kazakhstan, also put in the list of the 100 best brands of the state. Further mission of the factory is to keep the brand of Made in Kazakhstan on foreign markets. The company always works to ensure that what we make was not just in demand but actually was popular among the people. The quality of our goods was worthy of the name which is proudly carried out by Santech Prom factory as the historical successor of an old plant. Work in the area of metal processing can be named typical Karaganda region. The name of the Temirtau city, where lots of industry enterprises are located, means Iron Mountain. Here, ArcelorMittal Temirtau, world-famous metallurgy giant, is located, and a lot of factories for production of different goods had grown around it. One of them is Ast Etalon Crown, enterprise for the production of packaging from metal. Ast Etalon Crown LLP. Production of metal packaging. Production volume 700 million units per year. Export share 50%. Sales geography Russian Federation, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Portugal. This enterprise, despite its relatively young age, only 10 years on the market, already occupies a leading position in Central Asia and eastern part of Russia. The main products are crown corks for producers of beverages. Also, the plant is engaged in varnishing and lithography of aluminum sheets.
С первого дня нашей деятельности мы шаг за шагом, поэтапно.
From the first day of our activity, we step by step, filled the niche of this production firstly in Kazakhstan. Everything what was used before on our market was imported. Gradually, we import supplies, replaced this production in Kazakhstan and entered the foreign markets.
Заместили, так сказать, эту продукцию в Казахстане и затем вышли уже на внешний рынок.
50% of the whole production is exported to Russia, Uzbekistan 30%, and Kyrgyzstan 15%. Another large consumer is based in Portugal. The enterprise began delivering to this country relatively recently, 4 years ago. In metal processing production, there are its own leaders of equipment supply. Just like in the manufacture of bath and heaters, Italian and German machines are used. Specialists only have to monitor good conditions of the equipment. 60 employees of the factory annually supply the market with 700 million crown corks. The company is innovative and new. All experts are young, from our city who grew in this enterprise, starting from packers and growing up to posts of masters and chiefs. The process is completely automated. Operator monitors, stands behind the control panel, puts the value, puts the number of sheets, also looks and carries out the maintenance of the machine. All specialists are trained here, on the job. Unique equipment doesn't have analogs in Kazakhstan, therefore operators are taught only on the factory. A stack of tin and lithograph sheets are installed. With the help of vacuum suction cups, it's brought to the vertical table. Also, this node is equipped with sensors, sensor of double sheet, sensor of the thickness of metal, and the presence of varnish on the sheet. If there is no lacquer, the sheet is rejected to the reject compartment. A white food tin is used for the production of crown cork. A protective paint is applied on metal sheets, and then they are sent to the manufacturer. Exterior of goods can be various. It's possible to put drawing and emblems of any complexity. Goods pass the strict technical supervision on all levels of the manufacturer. For this, the plant has its own laboratory. Our laboratory constantly supervises crown corks every 30 minutes. It checks the sizes, height, crumbling and corrosion resistance, everything according to the regulations on crown corks. What is more, the quality control is carried out by audit. Consumers can come to the factory and assess the quality of work. These measures are necessary to keep their own niche on the market because there are enough competitors both in Kazakhstan and abroad. But export-oriented companies receive good support within a country. There was help from banks, that is, banks always supported us. There was help from the state. Thanks to participation in state programs, we also received some support. We took part in the third direction of the Damu Fund for several years, the support of export-oriented companies. Entrepreneurship Development Fund, Damu, carries out and monitors the financial support for SMEs within the framework of the Business Roadmap 2020 state program. Among the tools of the fund are subsidizing of interest rates and guaranteeing of the entrepreneur loans to the banks. Such support helps enterprises to confidently feel on the market and to constantly expand the manufacture. In the nearest future, there's expansion of lithographed tin line, that is, printing on sheets of metal. Uzbekistan's enterprises are already interested in the delivery of this production, which became the main market for Ast Etalon Crown Company. Metals and products from them occupy the second place in export structure of Kazakhstan. For the past 2016 year, the share of this type of production amounted to 17%. Metals remain one of the key export products in Kazakhstan, but last year the accents inside the industry had shifted. If the country was famous for supply of raw metal before, now more and more countries find out more kinds of Kazakhstani products from metal.